A lot of people collect all sorts of different things. Whether it's Pokemon cards in boxes, rare video games from overseas, or 85 plus graded Nintendo 64 boxes to put on shelves. Everyone has their own little thing that they like to collect. Now, I do have my own thing, and it's a little bit less popular. See, I collect comic books. Not in the way you might think though. I don't collect the little small volumes that people bag and board and then, you know, in 50 years time they're worth $1,000. No, I don't collect those. You see, I collect comic books in a slightly different way. I buy the collected editions, where instead of buying one rare comic book for maybe $500, DC put together a hardcover collection where you get maybe, let's say, Batman 1 to 30, all in one book for $80. And now, yeah, it's not worth as much as buying the old issues individually, but I buy comic books to read them first and foremost, because I'm a fan of the medium, I like them. And I actually want to read them. I don't want to buy a comic book, put it in a bag and board, and then put it away in a drawer for it to never be read, never enjoyed. No, comic books are there to be read, goddammit. What's the point of making them if no one's going to see the beautiful art, read the good stories? What's the point? So I buy these, slightly more available, cheaper collected editions, and they look nice on a shelf too. Comic books are not always available at all times. You see, these comic book publishers, they might print a couple thousand copies of what's called an omnibus, which is a very large collection of these comics. They might print a couple thousand, and it might take a couple years for that to sell out, because look, comic books aren't the most popular medium in the world. But then when they do sell out, sometimes it'll take a couple years for them to be reprinted and become available again. Sometimes they just never do. And if you missed out, you missed out. Tough luck. So today, I've picked 5 collected editions here that I think might be worth a lot more money than what I paid for them originally. Some of them I know are no longer available, so I already have a pretty good feeling that they're going to be worth some money, but I don't know how much. And honestly, I would never sell them. I've got them there to be read, and I love these books. I wouldn't sell them just for a bit of money. And now here, I have both eBay and Amazon up. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be picking up these books one by one. I'm going to be looking at how much I originally paid for them when I got them. We're going to look up the price on Amazon, on eBay, and see how much they're worth now. Now, the first one that we're going to be talking about today is the Animal Man Omnibus by Grant Morrison. Back when I first got into comics, this was one of the most popular omnibuses, I don't bloody know. One of the most popular ones that people would have. It was fairly cheap on the scale of how much these books cost. And one of the best stories that I've ever read in comic books. Great story, great art. Everyone had this on their shelf. But it's become a little bit rare in today's age. I got it back in, I think, 2015 or so, and it's been out of print for a couple years now. I have loaded up on my other monitor over here. When I bought it for $84.54. So about $85. So let's see how much this book is going for now. Okay, so on Amazon, let's look up Animal Man Omnibus. And what do we get? So first result that comes up is the one by Jeff Lemire, which is not the run that we're talking about. We're actually talking about the Grant Morrison one. Now you can see here that they've actually been re-releasing the series in deluxe editions, which is not as nice looking on a shelf. And does Amazon even have a listing for the omnibus that I've got? There's not even a listing for it. Man, that's rough. You know what we're going to do then? Let's jump on over to eBay and have a look at what the prices are there. We've got the Jeff Lemire Omnibus, which is worth quite a lot now. We've got a Polish one there for $174, but what language is it in? It's in Polish, so that doesn't count. We want an English copy. So this is in English. Book and dust jacket are in excellent condition. Going for about $136. Now let's keep having a scroll. This one here, this brand new sealed one, is worth $347. See, this one here was a second-hand one like mine. This one here, brand new, $347. Is that really all there is? Man, this book is super unavailable now. Let's go to Google and just have a good Google search. This is incredible. I remember looking this up a year or two ago and you actually could still find some secondhand books. But the book is so old now and so out of print that you actually can't even find it anymore. Those two eBay listings, the one from the UK and the other one from I don't know where, are the only ones on the internet. That's crazy. Wow. Okay, so I paid $85 for it. And for a brand new copy, you're now looking at about $350 roughly. And for a second-hand one, you're looking at about $135. Plus 50 postage, estimate. Let's round it up to a good $200. Round it up to roughly $200 for a second-hand copy of the book. So it means it's increased in value by about double, which isn't too bad, honestly. As far as like rare books go, it's not super expensive actually. These omnibuses, when they're out of print, they can end up being super expensive, and I thought this one would actually be a lot more, to be honest with you. Now let's move on to book number 2. We have from Dark Horse, The Fear Agent Library Edition Volume 1. As you can see here while I'm holding it, this book is gigantic. Look at the size of it compared to my head. It's huge. Now this is a very sad story because I bought this Library Edition Volume 1 many years ago and I never bought Volume 2, and I will be kicking myself for the rest of my life because Volume 2 is unavailable now, and there's only 1 or 2 ways that you can even get it on eBay these days. Last time I looked, and it was about $600 to $800. And I remember I went into my local comic shop a couple years ago, and I held Volume 2 in my hands, and the price on it was like $90. And I was holding it, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, nah, I need the money. This can wait. And then I've never, ever been able to get it for a reasonable price ever again. I will hate myself forever for that. I'll never be able to finish this series, not in this big Library Edition format anyway, because it's just not available anymore. So how much did I pay for this back when it came out? Here we go. So I paid $53.23 for the Fear Agent Library Edition Volume 1 back at the start of 2016, so 5 years ago. Let's have a look at how much it's worth now. $53 is actually really incredibly cheap for a book like that. Comic book inflation has gone a little nuts in the last couple of years. The last 3 years, books have nearly doubled in price, I swear to God. I don't know whether they increased taxes on them or what, but holy shit. They're so much more expensive these days. Alright, let's have a look. First up is Amazon. Let's go. Fear Agent Library Edition. And while we're here, let's look at the prices on Volume 2, see if maybe I can cop that. Alright, so here we got a listing for Volume 1. Looking good, looking a lot better than the Animal Man Omnibus so far. Here we go. So you can't actually buy it from Amazon itself, you got to buy it from a third-party seller through Amazon. Let's look at the listings. So the cheapest one, brand new copy, going for $356. Now we jump down in price, we got $440 here from Booksmela, and then the next listing is actually looks like it might be in the French language rather than English, going for $955. That's a little crazy. I don't think they're going to be selling a copy of that one if I'm going to be completely honest with you, chat. Yeah, that's a gigantic jump. I don't think anyone's buying that. But as you can see, it's not available through many retailers, and it's not really through any that I trust the names of. I'm pretty sure I tried to purchase a book through Booksmela Oz, and 8 months later the book never arrived, never got my money back. It was like $100 gone. Oh well, it was 2 years ago. Walk away from it. Now let's go to eBay. Here we go, we got a United Kingdom offer, a pre-owned copy going for $182. We got one here from Germany, which probably isn't in English, but here we go. So $182 for a second-hand copy, which is what mine is. So I paid $53 for it, brand new, and now second-hand. Wait, not $182, because we didn't factor in the postage. The postage itself is $62 extra, bringing this to nearly $250. I paid $50 with free postage for this 5 years ago, and now to buy a second-hand copy? you're looking at about $250. We've got a copy from the United States here, $193 plus 33 postage, around the $220 mark, $220, $230. We've got one here from the United States, 126 Australian, $30 postage, $150. And now you'll be noticing that every single listing for the library edition, it's all just coming up with volume 1. No one wants to sell their volume 2. Now why is that? And why don't I have a copy? Well look, you already, the library editions have already stopped appearing. People are only selling the first volume. Anyone that's got volume 2, it's worth so much money that no one wants to sell it. No one. Anyone that's got it is just holding on to it because that thing is going to be, that you're going to be able to retire 10 years early off of that book. You know what? I'm curious. I am very curious. What if we put a 2 at the end here? How much can I get it for? Oh look, I can't get it. Fuck my life, I guess. Okay, so one listing comes up for volume 2 because I'm looking for this for myself, right? Here we go. $505 plus tax in US dollars. That then becomes about $650 plus tax plus delivery. From a seller that I've never heard of, and frankly would never trust. Next up, we have an Avengers book actually. We have The Avengers Omnibus by Kurt Busiek and George Perez. Now, I actually really love this series. This is a series that started in 1999, going into the early mid-2000s. And to me, this is the Avengers run. If you're going to look at any one run of Avengers of all time, this is the one to read. This really is what the Avengers are to me. And it started a lot of the plot lines that we used in the MCU. Now, let's see if I can find out how much I paid for this thing. I know it was one of my first more expensive purchases, but I don't think it was that much still. And I bought the second omnibus because it's a 2-piece collection. I bought the second one about a year ago because this first one went out of print and I didn't want the same thing to happen to the second one. So I bought it up before it became unavailable. So I already know this one is out of print, but I don't know how much it's worth. So let's take a look. So when I bought it, brand new with free delivery, I got it for $131.94. So I think at that point in time, it was my most expensive purchase, but we're gonna see shortly that that was actually very worthwhile. Because if we jump over here and we look at this listing, we can see that the cheapest it's going for on Amazon is $983. That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. I hope that this never gets reprinted ever because I have both volume 1 and 2. I will be a very rich man for having these books. Please, Marvel, never reprint them. Now let's jump over to eBay because you're thinking, well, surely that's just inflated Amazon third-party sellers, right? Let's have a look. We've got one here from the United States, new, sealed, free shipping, although it doesn't look like it's free shipping at all, you lying bastard. $436 Australian with $72 postage, bringing it to just over $500. And we got another listing here, still sealed, $409 Australian plus 95 postage, bringing it to, again, just over $500. We've actually got someone here selling both 1 and 2 for $637 plus 155 postage. Now, if you ask me, that actually looks like a bit of a steal, to be honest. I'd take that deal. And we can see that Volume 2's increased in price a lot as well. I paid about, I want to say about $150 for my copy of Volume 2, and that's gone up in price within a very short amount of time as well. But they're the only copies you can buy. That's it. You got these two, and that's all. That's all you can get. And that is about it. So they're the only copies that are really available in the world. Those two eBay copies. So it's a very rare book now. I'm glad to say that I've got one. It's a great book. It's a really, really great series. This next series is another heartbreaker. It's another Dark Horse book that was printed in library editions that is no longer available, that I'll be kicking myself forever for, because these books were regularly selling for $40, $50, $60 at max, and now they're just completely unavailable, or if you do find them, they're like $200 each. Last time I looked, which is probably like a year or two ago. So let's have a look at this series over here. We have The Goon Library Edition Volume 1. I hate myself for not buying the rest of the series. There are about 6 of these library editions, and I've read part of this, and it seems like a really great series, but I'll never be able to continue it now. Not unless I become rich through Twitch here, then I can just pay pig all of the volumes, and then I can make a video about how rich I am for buying them all. So I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. Hey, we'll get that donate button soon. Yeah, we'll get that donate and sub button soon. We'll get Twitch affiliate. Yeah, you feel me? We'll make a good video out of it. Alright, so let's see how much I paid for it when it was new and how much it's going for now. If we can even find a listing, to be honest, because we might not be able to. Okay, so when I bought Volume 1, Library Edition Volume 1 of The Goon, I got it with free delivery back in March 2016, 5 years ago, for $48.62. Now let's jump over and see how much it's worth now. So it's not available through Amazon regularly. You have to go through a third-party seller, which there's only one of. There's only one seller on Amazon selling this, and it's going for $405 with 13 delivery. Let's say $420. This book is now worth $420, which is nearly 10 times the price of what I paid for it. And you can see here why I haven't continued the series, because you can see prices on Volume 2, $273. Volume 4, $345. Okay, now let's jump over to eBay and go The Goon Library. Here we go. Okay. So we've got Volume 4 going for about $64. You know, that's not bad. I could actually buy that. Volume 5, a decent price as well. Volume 3 is $502. You know, that's slightly less available than what I would like. That's a little bit of a highball offer, you know. But Volume 1 on eBay going for 257 Australian dollars with 34 postage, bringing it up to about 290. Looks like it's sealed. It looks like a brand new copy. And then we got one over here from the UK, 120 Australian with 40 postage. That's not bad either. That's $160. I mean, they're not the thickest books in the world. You're not getting as much value for money as you are with an omnibus. But that's still not too bad, you know what I mean? Here we've actually got a copy of Volume 2 from the UK that's going for about 210. It's still a little on the high mark. I wouldn't want to pay more than 200. If I could get them for ideally under 100, I would buy them instantly. But maybe 150 is the highest I would go. Look how much these are going for now. They're all close to $200. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy how much these books are worth now. We have one more book we'll be taking a look at, and that is one that I actually still have brand new, sealed, untouched. I can still resell it for full value. I've done my work with this one. I've made sure to keep it nice and good. I don't normally keep things in shrink wrap, and I'm not doing it to resell it. I want it to not get damaged for as long as possible, because you're gonna see shortly that this one is gonna be worth the money. And it's Volume 1 of the Deadly Hands of Kung Fu Omnibus. Now you can see here that it's got Iron Fist and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi getting a movie soon. This was a bit of a different series. This is half comic book, half newspaper articles, and journal pieces from back in the 70s about the Kung Fu craze and how it was affecting America. Now you can see that my sealed brand new copy here does have some damage. It's got a little tear on down there, so it's already lost a bit of value there. But I'm not looking to resell it anyway. I bought it because I want to read the thing, damn it. And now I can see here on the back, I paid $195 for it. So I think to this date, this is the most expensive comic book that I've ever purchased in my life. $195, still under $200. I haven't bought anything over $200 yet, but let's see how much it's worth now. Let's go to Volume 1. Okay, not going for as much as I thought actually. You can get some from a sketchy site here for 253. You can get one from Amazon UK for 236. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. By the way, this book will never be getting reprinted. Once it's sold out, that's it. Because Marvel actually had to pay for the rights to print these books because the Shang-Chi character actually isn't owned by Marvel. It's owned by one of the creators' estates. So they actually had to pay to be able to make these books. I mean, they pay to make the books anyway because they got to print them, right? But they had to actually pay for the rights first. Now let's go to eBay. Here we go. So there is one volume here for 260 with free postage. There's one here brand new going for $64 with 40 postage. $70 with $56 postage. Maybe I got ripped off. There's one here going for $226 with $33 postage. This one here going for $93.99 with 46 postage. Damn, this has actually decreased in value because when I bought this book, it was actually worth nearly $1,000. I got fucked, guys. It actually decreased in value even though it's becoming less available. Maybe Marvel did a reprint? Did Marvel reprint this? Marvel, you fucked me. Well, that's a really depressing end to the video. All the others increased in value a lot, but it looks like maybe Marvel reprinted some, maybe they found some lost copies or something, because this book is actually worth less than when I bought it. When I bought it, I was looking at like secondhand sellers and we were looking $600 to $1,000. And now they're regularly going for under what I paid for it, which I paid standard RRP. I didn't pay some scalper for a copy or anything like that. I paid $195. I mean, maybe when the movie comes out and people go to swarm and buy Shang-Chi books, maybe it'll increase in value again. Who knows? It looks like they've done another printing in preparation for the movie coming out soon. But that was a really goddamn depressing end to the video. Anyway, so that's a little insight into what I collect, because I don't really collect video games, I more just play video games, but I like having these things on the shelf. They're worth a bit of money, they look cool. I mean, a shelf looks nice. It's always a piece that when people come into the home for the first time, they look at it and they go, wow, what the hell is this? And I go, it's comic books, and then they leave. That's going to be about it for the video. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Catch ya.